I approached the Met right away, because that's the center of the city, right? The Met, right? It's like, you know. So first the public library buys a book, and Bobby Raid one and knew. He said, I'm getting real estate money to pay for this. But the funny part was, they're trying to evict our buildings, then the city's buying our book. So there was a funny little game playing there. And the Met rejected our book. She said, the head curator is Coulter Ives. That's where the Ives paper comes from. When you go to the art store, you see the famous Ives paper. Coulter Ives, that was the daughter or granddaughter of the famous Ives paper. She was the uppity curator of the print department. She looked at the book and saw the rubber, and there was powder on the rubber. She said, we don't look at that dirt. We get this out of here. We don't look at this. That's what she told the assistant curator, who was David Keel. And he loved the book. He said, I'm sorry, we can't buy it. If it doesn't have a Toulouse-Lautrec in it, she ain't gonna go for it, you know. But I just, that comment, that get this dirt out of here, because it was rough, it was lead, it had scratches on it. And then David Keel, the curator, really helped us with the book. He gave us a list of people around the country, even around museums around the world, that would be interested in this artifact. And we spent about 50 grand making the thing in 5 years, so we got our money back. Well, sometimes I'll bring a book to Europe. I sell one book, it would pay for the trip, and then come back. So we would make trips to Europe. So the Getty Museum has it. So we loved this satellite. It was so much fun. That's the fun of it all. We're always talking about, you know, we're half dead in this, all these, the hard life we live, but there was a lot of fun in it too, that we got to the top of the mountain. You know, to be in the Getty Museum or the Gutenberg Museum. The Gutenberg Museum is in Mainz, Germany.
That's where I was born.
Oh, really? Wow. It's a beautiful town near Frankfurt, and it has, the Gutenberg Museum has the first books made in every civilization. The first book made in Egypt, the first books made by Native Americans. They have the Gutenberg Bibles, the first printed book, and they have our book.
Wow, that's really cool.
We're amongst some. That was the fun part. Some museums didn't have money. We donated it to the Gutenberg Museum because we loved it. You know, we wanted to be.
That's so cool.
I think maybe you said this, but how many books did you make?
We made 150.
And were they all like identical, or were any of them?
They were an addition. So the nature of silk screening, they're all one of a kind because you're stroking. Right. So every stroke is a little different, but it's meant to be an addition. They're similar. But on the other hand, they're all one of a kind. The covers are all stenciled. They're all handmade. It took us a year just to bind the book. 2 years, 2-3 years to make all the prints. Another year just to do the graphics. So it was basically 4 years, and then a 5th year to distribute it. Now I'm working on a sister book of this called Fractured Lives, based on fracking. It's a smaller edition, but I'm on the 7th year of that because I had to shelve it for a couple of years.
How did you end up thinking of Gutenberg's museum? How did you come to that museum?
The Gutenberg Museum. No, it's kind of the first people that bought our book were from Offenbach. Offenbach is right next to Frankfurt and right next to is it Mainz? Oh, very close to Mainz. So they were the first people to buy the book, and they came from Germany and went to the Center for Book Arts and saw the book. And they were one of the first people to buy a book. And the Germans have this tradition, or the Europeans have a tradition of the artist book, the Gutenberg Bible, you know, or in Philadelphia has it too with the first American Revolution. But Europe is really well known for their artist books. So it was natural for us to migrate there. And Germany especially. There's a book in Berlin. There's a book in Hamburg. It's a museum of graphic design. It's there. It's in Bochum. It's in one of the first libraries in Western civilization in Wolfenbüttel. It's near Hanover.
Wolfenbüttel,
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. They have a book, and we're proud of that because it was considered the first official library in Western civilization. Even though Dante considers the first library in Bologna, but it's one of the first libraries. And Berlin, and they bought a book when the staff was furious because they weren't getting paid. It was when the wall came down. And said, where are you getting money to buy? They bought a book. I didn't even get my paycheck. And the boss bought a book. They like, we got to have this. You know, and when was I going to come back to try to distribute a book? You know, it was once in a lifetime. We said, we got to have this. Munich didn't take a book. But there's a book in Prato in Italy, a book in Milan, the Steiglitz in Amsterdam. There's a book there. The Brooklyn Museum has it. Harvard has it, right? So they have. Anyway. Anybody else? You're all exhausted. Okay, thanks for coming. I know it was nice to talk.